Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
जरा म्यूट कर दिया खाली मारो इतना ना कौन म्यूट
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I am honored. I am very grateful to be with all of you this evening. Thank you very much.
आगरा तो दिखा दो ये आगरा Thank you so much Maharaj. Thank you for taking time and coming with us for at this very difficult moment in our life. We really need some help, and you kind of spend so much time with us on the other day, heard our heart, and now today you are with us. So please go ahead and tell us something, whatever you want to tell us, and then we'll chant together for some time. Thank you, Maharaj.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patithanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Maharaj. Very, very well.
Yes, Maharaj.
That is miracle of Krishna's mercy. Thank you. We are all feeling our hearts broken that Advaita Priya Prabhu has left us. But we should be grateful. In our tears and our sorrow, there should be no guilt, because the nature of life in this world is, even with the most sincere motivations, and even with love and kindness in our hearts, things don't always go the way we want them to go. But Krishna understands our intent. And Advaita Priya Prabhu, he gave his life. He gave his life to the service of Sri Krishna, of his beloved Guru Maharaj. And he, along with your good mother, he has inspired your whole family to take to the path of pure devotional service. Children and grandchildren, and his life is a great success in every way. His humility, his knowledge of the essence of devotional service, his love for devotees, and I'm very, very much grateful forever for his great love and kindness upon me. He gave his life to Krishna. He gave his family to Krishna. He gave his everything to Krishna. So we can know absolutely for sure that Krishna was with him at the time of his departure from this world. And his departure is supremely auspicious. A great devotee's auspicious departure is not dependent on external circumstances, but it's dependent on Krishna's mercy. and Krishna reciprocates with one who gives his life. And please know your father, your grandfather, he gave his life in such a beautiful life. And Krishna was with him, and we could be very proud of him. And in our sorrow of his departure, our feeling should be gratitude. Gratitude that he had such a wonderful life. Gratitude that we had his wonderful association. And in our sorrow, there can be an inner joy to celebrate the auspiciousness of this very, very rare soul. And we miss him, we love him, and we pray. We pray for Krishna's mercy to be upon him. But although we pray, we know for sure that Krishna's mercy is upon him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
And to all family members and friends and whoever else is with us this evening, let us observe the ceremonies regarding his departure in the way that we know for sure he wants us to do. I had several beautiful talks with your father on so many subjects, sometimes the Leelas of Radha Krishna, Leelas of Lord Chaitanya, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and other times about how he was so concerned with the unity and affection between all of his family members, and how the family members, by keeping Krishna in the center of their lives, could rise above all differences and truly love each other as he loved you. I congratulate you that you had such wonderful association with such a wonderful Vaishnav. And I thank you for your great kindness upon me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you. We were disturbed especially because my father left all alone, and we felt that we didn't serve him properly or listen him like he was giving us the subtle messages throughout the last year or even longer than that, but we kind of did not understand it properly.
Please know that your intentions were always with love, with affection, with gratitude toward your father. And he gave he gave his whole life to put Krishna in the center, to give Krishna to others, that even if there may have been some apparent negligence, that is not in any way going to change Krishna's mercy upon him.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So there's nothing to regret. There's nothing to feel guilty about. Be happy. Be happy that your father was so proud of you.
Thank you, Maharaj. But we are not able to see you. Yeah. So, thank you, Maharaj. I mean, this would be a lifelong process for us to um, um, kind of offer proper homages to him, and to be, we have an incentive to be as pure he was, so that we could see him again in some other service together, some, because each of us, we had a very unique connection with him. And we had so many more desires to serve him. So, you know we hope that Krishna would fulfill our desire to serve him in some capacity again. And if we think in that way, is it appropriate or is it binding on him? Like, I mean, if I give my example, my me and him will read every day at least 2 to 3 hours together, and that was my joy of life, and that was, he was looking for it every time. Bhai vachisu. So I had so much desire that I will read so many scriptures again and again with him. And and if I hanker that again, would I, am I pulling him, or am I kind of not letting myself go out of me and my father, or I'm kind of moving around in that circle, or is that a proper emotion to have at this point?
If it is hearing and chanting and serving with Krishna's pleasure in the center, then that is the greatest tribute to your father.
Wait a minute, I want to take a little video of the people right now.
So yeah, so I think I have to look at him as another Vaishnava Thakur or Acharya, not just my father. Or should I still look at him in that way, that he's my dad? Because now, I mean, with all the devotees, of, I mean, with like, I mean, devotees like yourself, and everybody's telling us that he must have gone back to Godhead. There is no doubt about it. So I should think him in another Vaishnava Thakur, I mean, a dear devotee of the Lord, or should I think him still as my father, or both ways?
You may think of him in a natural way. He is your father. And because he was such an inspiration to you in Krishna consciousness, he was also a guru for you, and you can honor him like that.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Um, my father, the night that he left, and before also, he had expressed that desire very clearly, that take me to back India, from the village that he was raised. Now, with the current situation, that was practically impossible. Even on the night that he departed, he was in a complete clear conscious. Even when before we left from home, he said that, take me back to that place. So because of this current situation, there is not a possible. We don't know when the, I mean, India will allow the international flights, or I mean, what to speak of somebody who left body, and that parthiv body to be brought in India. It was too complicated, and if we go, we have to be quarantined, and even in India, we cannot find more than 2 people or 5 people to do the final rites. So we had no choice, but we did the final rites over here. Then I was meditating on his instruction. As much humble my father was, he would have never thought about making a memorial for him, or or uh, or what we call as a samadhi. So maybe in our hometown we should make something like that. But then comes the question of logistics and all those things. Somebody has to take care of that every day also. But this was his very deep desire, that he wanted to be there. We have some old houses in our our um, uh, hometown village. So we when my father was here with us, and we have been discussing that we will convert that as a small temple or a preaching center, and he was very happy with that. We thought he thought about renovating the houses, and along with that, it was his idea and all of us idea, and we supported very well. So that idea was floating there for some time anyhow. But then this was, we finding it so difficult. So we seeking, I mean, you don't have to answer now, but you can think about it, that how do we execute his final desire to bring him back to the village from where he was. His idea was to maybe through that we can propagate, or we can create a center, or we can create a place of service for people around there. That's what I mean, that's how I understand. But I mean, I'm kind of leaving this question. Maybe, I mean, you can answer it now, or you can think about it and um, tell us some other time. But this is kind of something that we need to execute on it in a way that fulfills his desire and that is befitting also.
Well,
Thank you, Maharaj.
my suggestion is discuss it as a family of what you feel the most appropriate way of honoring Advaita Priya Prabhu will be. And I believe his Guru Maharaj is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Is yes?
Yes, Maharaj.
So I discuss it among yourselves, and I think it would be very appropriate, and he would be very pleased if you also consulted Srila
Sure.
Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
Sure, Maharaj. Sure. So I mean, because I mean, I have been talking to many senior devotees. Like he was. So I mean, he was uh, connected with many senior devotees like yourself. So he would make that. So That's why I was. I mean, and definitely I will talk to Gopal Krishna Maharaj also. I already spoke to him.
Well, usually what we do is we bring ashes and put them in either Ganga or Yamuna or like that.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you. My We lost another family member yesterday around this time, maybe little early, around 7 o'clock. That was the uh, father-in-law of my brother Mehul. He's sitting next to, in front of me. So, and you can forward it to Nimisha also. Can you bring? And there's her father. You see, so her father. So he was also he.
Is it possible the camera, because I only see myself, is it possible you can make it so I can see you?
Sure. So we have the whole family sitting in front of you. So
Yes,
can you
that's
now?
much better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the Mehul is sitting in front of me. That was his father-in-law, and Nimisha is sitting right behind Mehul. So that was her father. And that's Nimisha's mother. Next to Nimisha is her mother. She's paying her obeisances. So Ghanshyam uncle was with us since last 15 years, 2005, 6, and he was also chanting 16 round, doing so many services and taking part in the household service and all those things. So he also kind of left us. So we are in a double shock at this moment. I mean, so. Um, um, I mean, we have no words to say uh, with the loss of two uh, seniors in the family.
I send my sincerest condolences and my heartfelt prayers to all of you family members, and I especially pray for the departed soul of Ghanshyamji.
Yes. I will ask if any of my family member has anything. Otherwise, we can do some chanting, or if you want to speak something, like you already spoke about the departed souls, Advait Priya Prabhu and Ghanshyam Prabhu. Maybe something general in terms of leaving the body, or if you want to chant some, I mean, that would be, I mean, wonderful also. Anything you do, we would be so happy and grateful about that. So Maharaj, thank you.
I must go very soon, but we know that the soul is eternal. Nahanyate hanyamane saride. There is no birth and there is no death for the soul. The soul, the jiva, is part and parcel of Krishna, the eternal servant of Krishna. And in this world, which is full of dangers, a place where everything is temporary, where old age, disease, and death are inevitable, if we take shelter of Krishna, the soul is reunited with Krishna through love and devotion. And Krishna, who's our supreme friend, our supreme well-wisher, our supreme lover, will give us shelter. And that shelter is the highest happiness. It's the greatest wealth. And our beloved Srila Prabhupada, he traveled the world around again and again to give this knowledge that we are eternal. We are eternally lovers of Krishna. And through this process of bhakti, we can awaken that love for Krishna. And there's nothing else that is of any true value than that. To have an eternal relationship as a loving servant of the all-beautiful, all-merciful Sri Krishna, Sri Radha, and their associates in the spiritual world. And that's the gift that Srila Prabhupada and all of our acharyas have given us. And it's the gift that your father has received wholeheartedly and shared with all of you. And we could chant for about 1 minute, but then I must offer my obeisances to all of you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale
Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatharine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatharine.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi
Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. चलो कीर्तन शुरू करो आप कीर्तन शुरू कर दो प्रहलाद केशव चित्रा Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare